Very good.
Random one.
No, fine.
If you have a horse that, like, he yesterday was not having any part of standing still for me, what do you do with that? Do you try to?
I don't know. I'd never gotten a ribbon for standing still, so that's something that I never broached that subject. If they don't stand, I figure great. Then they have energy, and when I start working, I can work them harder. So, yeah, they'll stand after you really work them hard. But actually, my horses stand pretty well. If you want to know the honest answer, because I give them cookies every once in a while when they're standing. For example, if I go out and do the prize giving like at Spruce Meadows, because they make a stand out there for about a half an hour while they give speeches and pat each other on the back. So while they're patting each other on the back, the horses get a little tired of it because it's cold and windy and raining half the time, and it's blowing in your face. And so what I'll do is I'll just get a half a bag of cookies and shove them in my pocket, and then randomly about every 3 or 4 minutes or 30 seconds, whatever, I just pat them on the neck and give them a cookie, and it just changes their focus. Instead, they're like, this is fine. I stand out here and this guy gives me cookies. I love the victory gallop. I love the prize giving. So it just changes their perception of what you're doing. Whereas the other horses, and it's funny actually, because the horses that'll be next to me with the other jockeys will be looking at me longingly. They'll be like, and then every once in a while one of the riders is like, hey Spoon, can I have a cookie? So I'll slip them a cookie. So, because their horse will be, jigging around, they're like, Spoon. And they see that it's working for me, so I give them a cookie. So that actually, if you want to do that.
With him to get him to stand at the mounting block when I was getting on, my problem was I said, good boy, and give him a cookie, and then when I was on, he did something good, and I said, good boy, and he hit the brakes and turned around for a cookie.
Ah, well, you can fix that quick, yeah. You can fix that quick. So yeah, so if you want him to stand, you're certainly welcome to, slip him a cookie. Okay? All right, so today we're going to start with a little bit of flat. We're going to do about 45 minutes of flat work, and then we'll start doing the gymnastic exercises. Why don't we go ahead and start tracking to the left at the rising trot. We'll see the moods that they're in today. Who else should be in this group? Is it Andrew? Right. Maybe they didn't think I was going to finish on time. Well, anyways, let's.
I don't know if he went to find his horse because it didn't come up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll catch up. We're just doing flat work. Yes. So Alicia, today, what do you think your goal is with your flat work?
Be softer with my hands and keep him engaged.
Yes, keep them engaged, and at the same time, look, remember you're not trying to make a brick. You're not trying to make a brick, you're trying to make a spring. You're trying to make a spring. So a spring has to, and Sheila, you as well, a spring has to be able to elongate and then compress. Elongate and then compress. So with your horses, you want them to be able to both stretch and then collect. Stretch and then collect. If you just keep your horse, Alicia, in this little package, then you're just going to have a brick. Think about when the horse goes to jump the jump. Don't go quite so far away. Because there's just 3 of you. Maybe stay on this side of those oxers. Otherwise, I'm going to run out of vocal cords by tomorrow. When you think about a horse jumping, right? Stretches it to the base, then it compresses at the base, it stretches in the air, then it compresses at the landing side, all right? And then as it canters off, it stretches again. So that means that if you're doing your flat work, Alicia, and all you work on is compression, 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 you're missing the real point. There, now you're getting it. Good. Right, Darian. So now with him, good. A little bit of left bend, and just work there, and then tell him he's a good boy. And then ask again, but Darian, look at me. You're doing the work on him, but he's not a China doll. Do you understand? He's not a China doll. You have to be firm and kind. Firm and kind. But you can't be ineffective. You can't be ineffective. In other words, you're not sitting on eggshells. Do you follow me? You're not sitting on eggshells, and you're not sitting on a bomb that you can't defuse. So make sure when you're posting that you're posting. Make sure when you ask him to bend that you ask him to bend. And make sure when you, yes, and then soften, and then soften. And make sure when you ask him to slow down, Darian. Yep, good, good. Bend him a little bit more there. Bend him a little, yes, and then soften. Good. And then ask again. Bend him again. Good. And then soften. And then ask again. Sit down. Yes, good. And then soften. Yes, good. Ask again. And then soften. Right. I'll tell you what. Alicia, Sheila, chill a minute. Why don't you come over on the other side of the bounce, and we're going to play with Darian's horse for a minute, because this is fun. This is fun, okay? And when you see a horse like this, everything that this horse is going to do in the next 10 minutes is on the other side, just on that. Everything that this horse is going to do while we work with Darian for the next 10 minutes is just amplification of problems that you have and that you have. So the nice thing in working with this horse is it's just a little more obvious, all right? So Darian, I want you to stay down here on this side, because Darian has a common, frailty. And that is when you're not 100% confident with what you're asking, and I don't know if maybe the two of you have felt this before, when you're not 100% confident that what you're asking is correct, then you don't ask, because you don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to ruin your horse. So because you don't want to ruin your horse, you end up becoming a little bit passive. And then once you're passive, you ruin your horse. But you don't know that.
I would love for someone to write that down.
Okay. Okay.
Not for me, but also to be able to share with, like, if that came to mind someone I know very well, and her thing is, I don't want to ruin my horse, I don't want to, and she's ruining her horse.
Yes.
Being too passive.
Yes, just making it too happy, okay? So, Darian, do you understand what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Okay? You have to have a little more confidence in yourself. And you have to make sure that you have certain rules that you abide by, and therefore that he abides by. Otherwise, for the next 6 or 7 years, how long do you think you're going to keep this horse?
I don't know.
Are you going to sell him, or are you planning on making him a nice jumper?
He's kind of for sale, but he's also kind of not.
Okay, well, either way, if you don't train him, you're going to keep him longer than you want, all right? If you don't train him, you're going to keep him longer than you want. And if you do train him, you're going to keep him as long as you want.
Okay.
Do you understand the difference? If you don't train them, you're going to keep them longer than you want. If you do train them, you're going to train them as long as you want. I would prefer the latter than the first. So you have to make sure when you're doing your flat work that you're very definitive, that you make decisions. What type of behavior is acceptable? Why don't you go ahead back to the trot now? And now, did you see when she went to the trot? When she said ho, ho. Did you hear that, Darian? Yeah. Ho. No, not ho. Whoop, bump, whoa. You follow me? Yeah. Because it has to do with the whole way that you think about accomplishing this. When you're riding this horse, don't be afraid to make mistakes. All right, now, you've got him now where he's a little bit slower. And the problem with this horse yesterday, Darian, was what?
He doesn't want to bend, and he resists inside contact, and he just throws his head in the air.
There. Soften, 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 right? Just as she has to be firm, she also has to say yes. You have to be firm on both sides. Do you follow me, Darian? You have to be hard and then compassionate. You have to have empathy and strength. But you can't just be in limbo. You can't just be in limbo. There you go, Darian. Pat him, good. Because it's a very simple thing. Training a horse is a very, very simple thing. If the thing that they do that you don't like, the things that they do that you don't like, you make difficult. The things that they do that you like, you make easy. That's how you hone their behavior. That is it. That is how you get rid of the rough edges and you hone the blade. Okay? The things that are difficult, you make hard, they don't want to do. The things that are easy, they want to do. Never forget, the whole time, they're doing the same thing to you, Darian. They're doing the same thing to you. They're busy trying to train you. All right? You want to do this, they make it difficult, you stop doing it, they just trained you. So, while you're fighting your battle, they're fighting their battle. You just have to make sure who's going to win. Who's going to win the battle, Darian? All right, so now you basically have tamed the shrew a bit, okay? But remember, a shrew has to eat its weight every day to survive. The shrew has to eat its weight every day to survive. That means that you've tamed the shrew, but it's going to come back. So you have to make sure that you keep training, keep training. Now you've got him on the ropes, he's happy, but now, just because he's happy, Darian is like, you know what, I don't want to mess this up, because he stopped busting my chops. Now you have to train him. So now, why don't you put your leg on, and get him moving from your leg, all right? More, get him working in your way. More energy, eyes up, don't look at his head. Eyes up, keep working. Yes, bending, straightening, bending, asking. Remember, everything you ask is a contract. Oof. Well, that ain't gonna happen.
I'll get that.
I don't know if you can. It's all right.
It's closed, yes.
Okay, everything you ask is a contract. It has a definition. It has a definition. I want this from you. This is what I'm saying. I want this from you. When they acquiesce, when they give you what you want, you have to fulfill your end of the contract, which is yes. Then you immediately enter into a new contract. The new contract. It might be the same contract. It might be a different contract. So, what do you want from this horse, Darian? I want you to verbalize it. What do you want?
I want him to push up through his hind end. And
Boom, that's it. Do you see how I want him to push up through his hind end? She just defined the contract. It's that simple. Then, how do you get him to do that? You want to put your leg on him. You want to put your leg on him, get him in front of you. Now, don't worry about your hand for a minute. Just leg and get him going, get him working. More. Good. Then take your leg off and reward him. Pat him. Good. Now that's enough of that. Now put your leg on and go. Go. Come on. Now, go. Get his hind end in front of your leg. That's fine. Now back to the trot. So he didn't really fulfill his end of the bargain. So she's got to go right back to work. Now put your leg on and go. There. Nope. Try to keep him at the trot. Get him back. Yes. And leg on. Lengthen. Good. Pat him. Okay, now collect. Sit up and collect. Good. And relax. And then ask forward again. Leg, relax your elbow. Leg, more. It has to be obvious, Darian. I can't tell. How can he tell? Good. Now pat him and come back a little slower, but bring your shoulders back. Change the tempo. Pay him. Pay the man. You understand? Pay the man. Reward him for what he did for you. Now you paid him. Ask him again. Leg. There, good, pat him. You see? It's so simple. It's so simple. As long as you keep it just very, very clear. Very, very clear. All right, now what do you want from him, Darian? To be round. And on the bridle, all right. So now, how are you going to do that? You're going to ask him to go forward first. As he goes forward, then you're going to ask with your hands, a little bit of left bend, a little bit of outside rein, good, and then soften. But see, he fulfilled his contract. Did you guys see where he fulfilled his contract? Did you see that? He fulfilled his contract right there, and she didn't pay the man. So because she didn't pay him, then he went back to doing it wrong, because she didn't define the contract well. All right? Now, a little bit of collection. All right, and now forward first, and now ask him a little bit of leg and bend, a little bit of leg and bend. Yes, good, and pat him, and then ask again. You see, she's too slow with her contracts, right? My contracts are about 2 seconds long. My contracts last about 2 seconds. Hopefully, hopefully. Okay, what do you want now? There, pat him, good, because he did it even when you didn't know it. All right, now why don't you get a little left bend? What do you want now, Darian?
Do the same thing the other direction?
There you go. You see, now you notice as I asked Darian, what does she want? She doesn't know. If you don't know what you want, then you're not able to train well. Why don't you come over here a little bit, because I'm just kind of screaming, and by tomorrow I'm going to be done. Good, go the other way. So you have to make sure, especially with young horses, that mentally, I always have to change. When I ride my 11-year-old Grand Prix horse, I'm not in the same state of mind as when I ride my 5 or 6-year-old young horse. I have to change. The contracts are totally different. It's a totally different contract. The contract with these young horses is very simple and basic. And what I'm asking for from these young horses, Andrew, is just basic little things. If you do this, I'll give you that. If you do this, I'll give you that. You do this, I'll give you that. And then you give me this and this and this, I'll give you that. And then before you know it, I've got a 5-page contract and I'm jumping Grand Prix. But in the beginning, I don't start out with 5 pages. Thank you for coming into my life. Now sign at the bottom of the line. Right? No. You have to start with tiny little contracts. That's how you beat them. That's how you beat them. Because they don't realize that ultimately it's going to be a 10-page contract, or they would never enter into this relationship. Okay? Now, Darian, what are you finding? That's not working, is it? That's not working. So you just have to be honest. That's not working. What isn't working? What isn't working is my leaning forward and just kind of leaning on my horse's mouth. So change. How should she change? Tell me, how should she change?
Sink into the saddle.
Yes. Bring your head back. Sit tall. Put your leg on. Sit taller, Darian. Taller. Even more. Even taller. Yes. And now shorten your reins up. Keep your hands, sit up. Get your head over your shoulders, over your hips. That's a much nicer picture. It's a much nicer picture. Yes. Now, what do you want right now? Because I can't tell. Then go. Leg forward. Yes, pat him. Good. Now back to the trot. Sit up. Good. What do you want? Then go. Good. Pat him. Excellent. Good. Now get control. More. Now get control. More control. More. Slow it down. I can't tell the difference, Darian. I want to tell the difference. Okay, now try going forward again. Good, pat him, because that was great. For a young horse, that was a wonderful reaction. But now, get control. Yes, and then pat him again. See, so now you've bookended a couple of contracts. The one contract is getting the horse in front of my leg, the next contract is getting control. So you're just keeping it very simple. Those two contracts go kind of hand in glove. All right, what are you doing now? What do you want?
I want him to stop leaning on my inside leg.
Stop leaning on your inside leg. All right, so then why don't you start into a small circle. Start into a small circle, like this spiral in. Come towards me.
I don't want to run your coffee over.
Huh? Don't worry about my coffee. It's dead anyways. It's cold as ice. Good. Now come circle around me. If you turn my coffee over, that's great. Then they have an excuse to get me another one. All right. Now push the horse out with your leg. Push the horse out with your leg, and that'll teach him to get off of your inside leg. That's right. A little more. A little more. Good. Eyes up. Eyes up. Good. Good there. Now pat him, and go forward because he did it. Because he did it. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. All right. Do that again. Start a little smaller circle. Slow down a little bit, because as the circle gets smaller, you want to slow down. And now, push the horse. There you go. But then you have to be quicker, Darian. You have to be quicker to reward him. Did you see how good he was? So then reward him. All right, now try it again. Come in on the circle. Good. Get your shoulders back. And then out on the circle. And then out on the circle. Good, good. There you go. Okay, come in on the circle. And then out on the circle. Good. Reward him. Reward him. Yes. Okay. And you can see with Darian, she's just a little too slow on both sides of the coin. You're too slow to define, and then you're too slow to reward. Okay? You need to be quick about defining the contract. Come in. Come in. Yes, and now inside leg, go out. Yes, yes, yes. Tell him he's good. Okay, now come in again. See if you can do the same thing, but smooth it out a little bit. Good. And now ask with some subtlety. Yeah, next time ask with some subtlety and some timing. Try to get your timing right, okay? Now come in and exhale and ask him out. Yes, you see the difference in timing. Instead of just brute strength, that time she used a little bit of finesse. Lovely job. Let's go the other way and practice the same thing. It's a very simple thing, these contracts. You have to have them with every horse, and they change as the horse advances. With your horse yesterday, we were doing great until we were doing some of those turns. He wanted to get light in the croup, right, and kind of throw his haunches out. So you should be, isn't that the problem we had a little bit with him? So you should be thinking about contracts that you can enter into with him. So I go home at night and I'm dreaming up new contracts for tomorrow's work. And are those contracts going to fulfill my goal? All right, so is my outside leg back? Am I going to get, am I going to do turn on the haunches, turn on the forehand, leg yields, half pass? What contract do I really need to work on to accomplish the problem that I had the day before? All right, what are you doing now?
Get off the inside leg.
Come in, go out. And then go out. No. He didn't fulfill the contract. He didn't fulfill his end of the contract. So come in, slow it down, bend him left, and push him out. But when not indirect rein, not indirect rein, opening or direct. Indirect rein with a young horse is a lot to ask, especially when you're trying to do this. Indirect rein is not the right rein. That's a very advanced rein. Okay, good. All right, now why don't you come in? Come in. And now go out with an open, no, that's indirect.
Oh. Wait, I think I'm confused.
This is indirect rein. Anytime you take your rein and you go towards your belly button, you should never cross your hand over the neck. Everybody knows that, right? You should never cross your hand over the neck. Sometimes it happens, but it shouldn't. So when you do an indirect rein, it comes to the belly button. If you cross your hand over the neck, your reins are too long. So you got to shorten your reins so it comes to your belly button. But with a young horse, when you're doing this, I would prefer direct, which means, yeah, good job. Now we don't have to worry about that. I would use direct or opening. Opening is for me, in my opinion, opening is the gentlest rein aid. If I'm training a 2-year-old how to steer, I use an opening rein. If I'm even up to a 4-year-old, I try to use mainly opening rein. And then, you know, oh, we're going this way, we're going that way. And then direct rein. We're going this way, we're going that way. Good, because you're not engaging him mentally. All right, now come in, come in. Come in with that left rein. Good. Sit up a little bit and now go out with the left leg only. Slow it down. Slow it down. There. More. More. Let him go out with that leg. Good. Pat him because he gave you a little bit. Good. Now sit up. Come in. Come in. Quick, quick, quick. Come in before he starts whinnying and dozing off. Good. Now opening left rein, left leg. There you go. Now come in with direct rein. Come in with direct rein. That's opening. Come in with direct rein. Good. And now out with opening rein. So you're pushing him out with opening rein. Do you understand why I want to push the horse out with opening rein? It sounds a little odd because opening rein is leading the horse in this direction. But what we're trying to do is get the horse to shift its hips out, right, Andrew? We're trying to get the horse to drift out with its hind end like in a car. Not that we would ever do that, but. Okay, so come in. Yep. And now go out. So point at me with your hand and yes, yes, yes. Okay, I'd like to see a little bit more. We're going to do this one more time and then we're going to move on. Then we're going to move on. Come in. Now slow, exhale, sit down, face me. Push away. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then walk, pat him, give him a break. Simple, 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 Darian. Simple but strong. Simple but strong. You have to define what you want. You're spending so much time trying to read your horse. I'm watching you ride. Thanks. Thank you. That coffee's seen better days. Yeah, if you don't mind. That'd be magic. Just a little bit of cream. Thank you, or milk, you know, whatever you got. That horse, Darian, has a tendency to spend all her time trying to read her horse instead of making the horse read you. You're so busy reading your horse that your horse doesn't read anything. He's running around whinnying and having a blast. All right? You don't need to be irrational. You don't need to be irrational. I'm not asking you to be irrational at all. I'm asking you to make definite selections. This is what I want from my horse. This is what I ask of my horse. If my horse gives me this, I respond positively. If you do that with your horses from beginning to end, then you're not going to have as much chafing, confusement, chaos, anarchy, because they know what is acceptable. Ultimately, the contract is a given. It's a given. Once you do that same contract 3,000 times, don't bother. We're not going to go enter into a new contract. We've done this so many times. You know exactly what I want from you. And you make that assumption. If they go off the rails, then, you start going back into contract. But as long as they don't go off the rails, you don't have to enter into basic contracts. I don't enter into the same kind of contracts that I would with that horse as I would with even that horse, even though they're the same age. Obviously, that horse is a little bit behind that horse. That horse is very far ahead for his age. Fantastic. That one is not quite as far along as that horse. So that horse is going to have far more complicated contracts than that horse. It doesn't matter an age. It's not an age thing. It's a developmental thing. If I get an 11-year-old that just hasn't entered into many contracts, someone sends me an 11-year-old and says, yeah, I'd love for you to turn into a Grand Prix horse. It's like, well, golly, thanks. I got to do this, and I got to have a lot of contracts really quick. All right, let's go ahead. I want to see everybody go ahead and track to the left. Now that there's 5 of us, you can go ahead and be on the other side of those oxers now. But let's stay kind of down at this end of the ring. It's easier for me because the reverb off the building helps me out a little bit. Okay? Now, As you're doing this, I want to know what contracts are you entering into with your horse today? Haunches off the outside leg. Andrew. Impulsion. That's the contract you're working on. What's the contract, Sheila, that you're working on today?
Come through behind and no swan neck.
No swan neck. You've got to have him like a spring, right? You've got to have him a spring where he's coming through from behind, but he's not coming through from behind. Yeah. What contracts are you entering in today? Similar to Sheila, similar to Sheila. Now, what contracts are you doing? Thank you. And off of the inside leg, where he's moving off your inside leg. I would break those contracts up into 2 parts. Don't do them at the same time. Okay? All right. Now, I'm going to stand out here and try to keep my mouth shut. It's probably not going to work. But I would love to see these contracts. If I can't see the definitions of your contracts, then I'm assuming that neither can they.
Do you have any interest in trying to raise those up higher?
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. It's just, you know,
Just to have a little something.
yeah, I have visions of,
Yeah.
yeah, yes. I have visions of Lizzie having a surprise. Very good, Alicia. Oh, there, I opened my mouth already. That's the idea, Andrew. And then make sure you close the other end. Make sure every time, Andrew, that the contract is open and closed. Does that make sense? Yeah. I can't tell, Sheila. I can't tell what part of that contract you're working on. Obvious. It's got to be obvious. I should be able to see it from Mars, from space. Don't go quite so far away, guys. I think I was wrong. Don't go quite that far away, because I'm going to end up screaming. That's right, Alicia. While you do this, Alicia, keep your head up. There. Because your hands need to be away from your face. You got to imagine that you dipped your gloves in something stinky. Right? And you're trying to keep those stinky gloves away from your nose. Right, Michelle. And if you feel as though he fulfills that contract maybe 3 or 4 times, then at least once or twice ask him for a different contract and then go back. Okay? Hey, so that's great because it looks to me like you're getting him in front of your leg. Is that what you were asking? Sheila, there's no contract there. I want to see him lengthen from your leg, Sheila, and stretch his body. Stretch his body. Go. Go. More. There. Then relax your leg and pat him. There you go. Do you feel that? See the difference there, Sheila? Yeah, now ask again. New contract. Your leg on? Ah, he didn't do it the way you wanted, right? So ask him. Good. And then maybe close the other end of the contract now. Collect. That's smart. And maybe when you make that circle, a little bit of outside rein, outside. That was excellent, Michelle. That's just smart. That's just smart. Very, very well done. Good, Alicia. Let's have everyone go ahead and reverse. Go the other way. See how much happier the horse is this way? Huh? Because the vertebrae have a chance to be separate from each other. Good. That's plenty. But then now those contracts can start to be a little shorter, Darian. I don't know, Andrew. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the contract. In other words, Andrew, I want to see that horse go from your leg, and then I want to see you relax and finish up the contract and pat him. There, and then go back, and now collect, Shorten up your reins, closer to the martingale. Now close that end of the contract, get that a little collection, Andrew. Remember, those go hand in glove, right? Okay, now go back, and now you have a new, aha! There's a problem there, right? Super, so you've got to keep working on that. So, relax that elbow, get him to move forward from your leg. More, come on, go. There, pat him. And now ask for the collection with a little bit of right, yeah, Andrew, beautiful. Pat him again. And then go right back into a new contract. Good job. Long and forward, Sheila. Long and forward. Good. Just a simple right rein. And now ask for the collection, Sheila. Exhale, sit. You don't have to sit, but stay tall. Good. Pat him, and then go into the next contract, which is, does he go from my leg? Does he stretch? There, Sheila, pat him. That's beautiful. Sheila, you're trying to get expansion, contraction. Now work on the contraction. Contraction. More. Very good. Andrew, I'm happy now. You feel that that's now. Yeah, now you're riding, Andrew. Very good. You know, Andrew, you just make it too nice. Okay, everybody, go ahead and walk. Now I feel, go ahead and walk, Andrew. Now, we've done what, about 5 minutes? 5 minutes. Michelle, how many contracts did you enter into and fulfill?
At least 2.
Just 2?
Yeah.
No. Each way. It looked like you did a lot more than that.
Off the outside leg. And
No, I mean like in total.
oh. Maybe 4.
Maybe, I think you did more than that. Darian, how many times in 5 minutes did you enter into a contract and complete a contract?
Probably
15, excellent. How many times did you enter and complete?
Probably 4.
Okay, how many times did you enter and complete? Yeah, especially in the end, huh? Wait, there's someone missing? 1, 2, did someone disappear? Oh, there you are. How many, how did you do that? You're like Copperfield. How many contracts did you enter into and complete?
I mean, I technically 2, but if it's per ask, then it's many more than that.
Okay, so you see my point?
Yeah.
You have to make sure that when you're going to go out there and you're going to do this work, you guys, that you're maximizing your potential, that you're not just out there diddling around, that as you're doing your riding, you're entering into contracts, you're completing them to everybody's approval, you're rewarding the person that helped you with it, and then you carry on to the next one. Let's go ahead and go the other way, and we'll do a little bit at the canter. That's fine, Sheila. That's fine. Yes, pat him. Pat him. That's good for you. That's good for you, because he's saying, am I really allowed to do this? And the answer is yes. But that doesn't mean he gets to do it all the time. All right, now let's do the same thing at the canter, everyone. Think about the contract that you're entering into. Think about what you're trying to accomplish, Darian. What is it? So before you canter, you can go back to the walk. Before you canter, you guys can keep going, but Darian needs to talk to me. What are you doing?
For the canter collection, but I probably need to get him to go forward.
Well, yeah, you can't have one without the other, can you, right?
But I always feel like he's running away, but I think it's like going forward on my terms and not his.
He needs to go forward from your leg, and then when you go to bring him back, Darian, you want to do it with changing your tempo, relaxing, sitting down, maybe a little bit of softening on the inside. In the beginning, you might only get 10%. Then ask for 20, then ask for 30, then ask for 40, all right? He's gonna be a little worked up because all his friends are cantering too. It's natural, that's natural. So your job is to try to gradually train your horse so that you override their instinct to run with the herd, okay? It's their instinct. Now I have all these horses cantering, so every horse is gonna wanna run with the herd, all right? So now you get to go run with the herd. It's difficult, running with the herd. That's right, Andrew. I really like to see your reins a little shorter. Not because I care what it looks like, just because you end up, Andrew, look at me, buddy. You end up back here, okay? You're a little slow talk-esque. You get that Franca slow talk look. And as long as your body is, you know, all of your lines are very nice and long. So when you get your reins long, it's like, yeah, it's obvious. It's too obvious. Good, Sheila. Now let's see the collection. Exhale, change your rhythm, soften. Beautiful. Pat him. He fulfilled the contract. Pat him. And now enter into a new contract. That's right, Andrew. Good. That's probably enough. Pat him and go on. Pat him and go on into the next contract, Andrew. Good, Darian. It looks like you're collecting right now. Is that right? Now let me see you go forward. You're going to need a little more outside rein than that, Alicia. There, good. Where is Michelle? I feel like Michelle's been avoiding me. I feel like you've been avoiding me. Good, Michelle, good. Good, Michelle, I think you're doing it so well, and I think he's doing it so well, that 1 out of 3 contracts now need to be the hips on the opposite side, okay? What are you doing, Andrew?
Trying to get him to like reach through his back a little bit.
No. That'll take care of itself. That'll take care of itself if you do your work right. Good. Let's go ahead and reverse, everybody. Go ahead and do a flying lead change. Let's go the other way. All right, Sheila, what are you doing right now? What are you doing, Sheila?
I get him to move off my right leg.
All right. Now what are you going to do? After you avoid Darian, what are you going to do now? What's the contract? What's your next contract? Come on. Quick. What's the next contract, Sheila?
Spring and extended foot.
All right. So do it. Good, Andrew. And then forward, right? And then forward. Because you don't want that collection for too long because, Andrew, he's a little bit weak. You know, we talked about that yesterday, Andrew. He's a little bit weak. So you've got to go forward there, get that hind end loose and coming through, Andrew. More. Come on, more. Get him working because he's a little weak behind. And now sit and collect and hard, bend him right. When you do that, bend him right. Yes, more leg, Andrew. Go, and then forward again. But go. Yes. Good, Michelle. All right, let me see what you're doing. Go ahead to the canter. All right, what contract are you going to enter into, Michelle? Good. Don't ask for too much. Great. Then go forward again, Michelle. That was beautiful. All right, what's your next contract, Sheila? Are you going forward now, Sheila? Go and let him lengthen, let him stretch. Beautiful job. Now collect. Inside bend Exhale and relax. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Slow your rhythm down. Put that leg on. I know you're tired. Good. Put that thigh on. Squeeze. More, because you haven't defined. Yes. Good. And then go forward again. Do it again. How you doing, Darian? Looks like you're doing pretty good. Yeah. Good. But I'd like to see it if you brought your head back, though. Put that leg on and bring your head back. Yes, Andrew. Andrew. That's the first time I've turned around and I've been so happy. Okay? Very well done. I'd love it if you shorten your reins. Good, Darian. How you doing, Alicia? It's looking great. It's looking great. Hey, counter canter. Jeez, I don't do that with my Grand Prix horses. Good job. I don't do it with my Grand Prix horse because I don't trust myself. Last thing I want to do is teach my Grand Prix horses to be on the wrong lead. It took me 20 years to teach them to be on the right lead. Good, Sheila. Beautiful. Okay, walk. Very good. Whenever you're done with this contract, whatever you're working on, go ahead and walk. Okay, come on over here. Come on over here, everybody. Well, I don't really know about you, and I don't care that much. I was happy with that. I was happy with that. From where I was standing, I had 5 riders that were out there, and you were all working independently, doing your jobs. You were entering into contracts. When the horses were good, you were rewarding them. You might have been working on totally different things, depending on what the problems were yesterday, but you were defining your job. You were defining your job. And that's pivotal. That's pivotal. Too many times we come out and we lack definition. We lack definition. We just do what we feel. I'm not a fan of that. I want to have definition with my job. I want to reminisce over what the problems are. Because if you ride 8, 10 horses a day and you don't define each horse and what the problem is with each horse, then you're wasting your time on 8 to 10 horses a day. Because this horse's problem is going to be totally different than that horse's problem. So if you just get on each horse and ride them like, okay, we'll see what kind of feedback I get, and then if there's a problem, I'll approach it, well, that's reactive. That's reactive instead of proactive. So you have to make sure that you, Darian, you have to make sure, especially with you, because you're so busy trying to react instead of act. You have got to be a woman of action. You can't just, if you're always reacting, then the world is happening to you. If you're acting, then you're happening to it. So you can't just react to your environment. You have to act in order to shape your environment. In life, just like on the horse, you have to make sure that in your life that you act to shape your environment, that you don't react to what's going on around you, okay? Super, Sheila. I know you're wiped out and tired, but that was very good. Very, very good. Any questions thus far? That was looking great, by the way. Fantastic. All right, let's stop with that flat work. I don't like it anyways. Let's move on to some jumping. Hi there.
He's friendly.
Hi there. Okay. We're going to start. We're going to start simple enough. The best place to stand, if you're welcome to be down there watching, but I'm kind of moving down here if you want to come. All right, so the best place to stand is over here by the bounce with the X. The bounce with the X. Alicia, we'll start with you since you're over there. All right, now, you know me from yesterday. So do you think I have these jumps set up so now we can just stop doing our flat work altogether and just aim at jumps and you guys can prove to me which one of you can find the most distances? You think that's what I'm here to do? No. No. Come over here. I mean, unless you need to do something.
I was just gonna get a drink of water.
Then you can get a drink of water. Talk about trying to make a man feel guilty. Right? Now, this, look at this, it's knee high to a grasshopper. This isn't about what you can do. This is about what you're going to prove to me you can do. And what I want you to prove to me is that you can train these horses, because tomorrow it's not going to be this size. So just like with the rails on the ground, that highlighted your problems, this is going to highlight your problems as well. Then tomorrow, if you can get all these problems resolved, hopefully there's no highlight. But what I'm looking for is for you to think about, what were my problems with the rails on the ground? That's going to be totally different for you than for you, and on and on and on. So that means now we have a different set of tasks. And embedded in those tasks should be your contract. Should be, what's my problem? Sheila, what's your problem?
My hips straight, so I'm not going to
As a rider, you're absolutely right. What's your problem with your horse? What's his problem? Yes, he gets behind. So a horse that gets behind, as a rider, my job is to make sure when I say backwards, that they come back, and then I let them stretch. That I'm very clear. I'm very clear. No, yes. No, yes. I'm making a spring. I'm not making a brick. Bricks don't jump. Springs jump. Bricks don't jump. So you don't want to make a brick. Last thing you want is to come around the turn. Next, look, talking about having these horses' heads down. You need to look. You need to watch. You need to think about horses' eyes. You need to think about what they see and how they see it. You need to watch videos. When you watch a horse jump a 1.60 m class, they don't keep their head down the last 3 or 4 strides. Why is that? They wouldn't be able to see the jump. They wouldn't be able to see their jump. There's a transition. The minute it gets over 1.30 m, the horse has to have its eye up. It has to have their head up. So at what age? They start jumping about 1.60 m, 8 to 9 at the earliest, 8 to 9. So you spent the last 6 years teaching the horse to have its head pinned to its chest, and now you have to retrain it. That's why this is not what's important to me. This is just saying, yeah, I'm a very good rider. I can keep a horse's head down. That's not what I'm trying to prove. I'm trying to prove that I can make a horse jump well, I can have a horse nice and supple and relaxed, all right? And that I can turn it into a spring. I can make a horse that, I want to try to make a horse that can jump 1.30 m, jump 1.40 m, 1.40 m, 1.50 m, on and on. I'm trying to get that last 10 centimeters out of that horse that it cannot do. Once it gets to that point, I'm done. My job is to try to make your job is try to make this horse as good a horse as you can. That's all. So when you think about your horse's problems, you just have to think about trying to solve those problems. How am I going to do it? How many contracts? And what my end goal is. Once you have that end goal, then that defines your training. So with this horse, Grand Prix horse, absolutely. So then you want to make sure that you have him elastic, and that you don't get to these small jumps and defend them. He has to learn where his feet are. That means as he's young and impressionable, you have to be willing to make mistakes as a rider. You have to be willing to make mistakes on positioning the horse at the jump, where he has to defend himself, but everything in between the jump has to be done correct. That's a fine line. But that's a great way to teach a Grand Prix horse, a future Grand Prix horse. All horses that you're trying to step up. The key is being able to make calculated mistakes. Calculated mistakes, where you just give them, just let them, you know, they're just, and then you throw them the life raft. But if you don't put them in the water, and make them get nervous, then they're not ready to grab the life raft. And the whole key is when you throw the life raft to somebody, they grab it. If they're not willing to do that, they're going to drown. They're going to drown at 1.60 m. So you got to train them to grab that life raft. Okay, we were going to start with you, Alicia. All you're going to do is you're going to canter this little red bounce, these rails on the ground. Then you're going to turn left. You're going to do that line. Now, I don't tell you the strides because it doesn't make a difference. It's going to be different for that horse and that horse. What do you think I'm looking for?
engagement behind and me sitting in the front.
Quality and control. Quality and control. Quality and control. The two Q's. Yeah, next one.
That was not a good line.
That's the way to start. Good, 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 good. Yeah, but what's with the position? What's with the position? I don't have my body that far forward at 1.50 m. It's a rail on the ground. Sit. Exhale. Did you guys see any contracts? Did you see any contract? I didn't see any contracts. I saw like you were waiting for a ribbon. Right? Even when you landed from the line. I didn't see you say, hey, you know what? We just did a line. Let's see if I can get you to come back, push off of my inside leg, do a leg yield, right? And then stretch your neck, and then whatever. But it was just, you were just out there doing it, right? It's about defining those contracts. Okay, Andrew, go ahead. And before you go out, I never head out without a plan. I never head out without a plan, Darian. While I'm in here, I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming of how it's gonna look, how I'm gonna do it, how it's gonna look, how the horse is gonna be shaped, and then I try to duplicate that when I go out. No, I don't care. Whatever you want. You're gonna give me narcolepsy. Andrew, I want it to be more definitive. I want your riding to be more definitive. I was so happy with your flat work because it was so definitive today. And then I felt like you started this exercise and you were just going to be happy. You were just going to be happy with doing, okay, 4 and 4. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just 4 and 4. But that's so, you're so much better than that, you know? That was smart. That was smart. I think if you did a bit more of that in the line and before the line. In the last group, we had a little bit of a bonus conversation, and it's very important that you hear this, and then anyone with a young horse or an old horse hears this. You're coming to this oxer, all right? I'm gonna walk as though I did this exercise, and then I'm gonna go to this oxer. And I want you guys not to say it out loud, but just raise your hand when you think, I'm your horse, and you're the rider, and I'm going from here to there. You're going to raise your hand when I see the jump. Oh, I thought maybe you had a special horse. Okay, now, so it was right about here. Is that about right? Maybe here? At this point, especially with your horse, at this point, there's a way to trick them. There's a way to fool a horse that wants to pull, all right? There's a way to fool a horse that wants to pull. When you land from the jump before, or even if there is no jump before, horses don't focus. You guys were all right, by the way, correct in the distance from the jump. It's about 40 feet. It's about 30 to 40 feet. Every horse is a little different, but even if you set that jump straight and I started galloping a straight line, dead straight, they still don't focus on that jump until they're about 30, 40 feet out. If you want to teach a horse not to pull, at the moment, that instant, you have to wait for it. You have to wait for it. You have to relax a little bit, get rideability, relax, and then there's that moment. That moment. You've all felt it. That moment. At that instant, no. No. Then you go to the jump. That's the difference between you calling the ball or them calling the ball. You understand? That's an aircraft carrier metaphor. You understand? Calling the ball, making the decisions. That's the difference between you making the decisions or them making the decisions. And if you wait for that moment and they do it, control. But the problem is, as a rider, you guys are so busy trying to look for a distance that when you have one, you don't want to abandon it. I would rather, with a horse that wants to pull and pull me to the jump, at this moment, say no, even if I'm going to absolutely muck it out. That's how you teach a horse like this to listen to you instead of listening to his instincts.
Should I have him halt in the middle?
You don't need to halt. It's just that moment, okay? Okay, Doug.
Something I find with him, sometimes I just have to raise my hand instead of pull.
Yeah, we'll work on it next time, okay? All right, who is next? Excellent idea after the last one.
Yeah, he gets strong.
Most people won't do that, but excellent idea. You know, my wife, she cooks well. And she hates people in the kitchen when she's cooking. Of course, I love being in the kitchen when she's cooking. But her way of keeping me out of the kitchen is saying, if you're in here, you're welcome to paint. In other words, the horse that wants to rush and land and run off, if you just make the landing a lot of work, they're less apt to want to get there. Yeah, this horse is this is a very nice horse. We knew that yesterday. We knew this was a nice horse watching it jump rails on the ground. Darian. We knew this was a nice horse yesterday when it was jumping rails on the ground. But it's never going to be a nice horse unless you're committed to change, unless you're committed to making it a nice horse. And that means when you're coming to these rails on the ground, when you're coming to these cavalettis, that is a perfect opportunity to say no. Instead, you always say the same thing. Yes, what you want. Do what you want. When are you planning on saying no? Like, at what point in this horse's career are you going to start using the word no?
I don't know. I think I use it, but for the wrong thing.
No, you need to start saying no immediately. Do you understand? You can't take a horse like this or any horse and never say no, assuming that at some point you'll start saying no when it's bigger. No, you have to say no now. Now. When you're going to this little whatever, right? This is just for the heck of it. I'd put this in here just because the rails were there. And the horse says, ah, no. That's where it should start. You have to say no to this horse because this is a very nice horse, but you have to say no. Okay? All right. Sheila. If you don't say no now,
Next time when I canter, I should have more.
no. When the horse says this, say no.
Okay.
It's just, I don't know what you're thinking about.
I don't know.
All right? When the horse does what you don't like, say no. This is not what you're looking for.
Right.
Right? So when this is happening, say no. Okay? Good. Beautiful. I like it. I like it. I don't know if I like that all that much, but I liked everything else. I loved it. I loved the 5 and 5. I loved that you worked on centering yourself. That was all great. I liked that you did, you turned right and you were, okay, then you kind of just sat in the half seat and did a half a victory gallop, right? But other than that, I loved it. That was great. All right, let's do that again. But this time, no, we're not gonna do that again. This time you're gonna do the line that way, and then you're gonna turn right. You're gonna come through the little bounce, and then you're gonna go ahead to the oxer. Then you're gonna turn left around the triple bounce the first time, and then you're gonna do this oxer back into the triple bounce this way, and then we'll go from there, okay? Yeah, because you ride so well. You ride very well. But you just have to be a little more of a militant. You're too nice.
I think he started beating me, not beating me, but winning whenever I'm trying to say no. So I think I gave up.
Yeah. Beautiful. Next one. Not bad. Not bad. Very good. Very good. I think in general it was excellent. The only thing as a trainer that if I were in your shoes I would like to do would be to also do a little bit of stretching. In other words, you had the compression, 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 compression. Yeah. Okay, that's too easy. That's too easy. Work. Yes, Andrew. Now work harder. Good. Shorten up your reins, bud. Now, as you're coming here, keep working and maybe keep that right bend so the canter quality is there. And this bounce, the key to the bounce is shifting off the axle, shifting off the axle. You got stuck on the axle. You've got to shift behind the axle. Shift behind the axle with the bounce. Shift your hips to the cantle. Cantle, yeah. Yeah, because again, that was, I thought the beginning was nice. Yeah. Then when you got to this you got to the triple bounce, you ended up on the axle, okay? When you get on the axle, that's gonna happen. Then this oxer was fine, and then, you know, maybe the stretch was fine, but then you started riding the distance. Yeah. The minute you start riding the distance instead of riding your horse, that's always am I wrong? That is always when it goes off the rails. The minute you guys start thinking distance instead of balance and control, it always goes off the rails. That will not change for the rest of your careers. Not for the rest of your horse's careers, not for the rest of your career. Why don't you go ahead and do the bounce this way to the oxer and then come back oxer to the bounce this way. This bounce I have short, it's not an accident. It's about 9 feet. Okay, it's only this high off the ground. But that means you have to keep the horse soft as it's coming in there. He could jump the whole thing. It's just a water jump. Just thought I'd get you nervous before you go. That's my goal. Shift, shift. Come try it again. Thanks, guys. Just pull this one back a little bit. All right, Andrew, I'm going to work you through this here. Now, bend him a little bit right and compress. Compress. Compress with leg. Compress with leg. Good. Good. Up, sit up, sit up, sit up. Good. Come do it again. Come do it again. Come try it again. Nice compression, nice compression. Squeeze and wait, squeeze and wait. That's fine, that's fine. Hang on, hang on. Let's do this. Let's do this. All right, go ahead, try it like that, and then we'll creep it back up so he starts to understand what he's supposed to do. Wait. Good, good, good. Perfect. All right. We'll leave it down until he does it the next time. Now do the work. Do the work. Keep working, Andrew. Keep that bend. Keep the quality of canter. Yes. Now do the work. Squeeze and wait for it. Do the work. Beautiful job, Andrew. Okay. Now we can go back up. Next one. Please. That was better, Andrew. Very good. He did that the first time, and it was so tough on him that he just kind of threw the towel in a little bit. Okay? That's all right. We'll get it back. Very good. I was very happy with the last rep because I felt like you were riding every stride and you were doing the work. Okay? Really good. Add one. Yes. Relax. Bring him back. Relax. Bring him back. Good. Now get that right bend. Good. A little forward. That's fine. But you got to go forward there, Michelle. You've got to go forward there a little bit. That's a little too slow. That's right. Now keep the right bend and now compress. Bend him. Good. That was a good ride. That was a good ride. Because he has to learn. He has youthful exuberance, which is wonderful to a point. Good. Now ride the right side. Ride the right side. Get your head back. Don't give up. Don't give up. Good. Good. Okay, next one. Michelle, very good. Michelle, he needs to do a lot of these. Yeah. This you need to be doing this every day.
He's so aggressive.
Yeah, you need to be doing this every day. And that'll What? Oh, he's a wonderful horse. He's a wonderful horse. I was very happy, Michelle, with that first line.
Yeah, I really have to not give up.
Yes, and you have to pick your moments. You have to pick your moments. Now. You follow me? Now. Good. This I would prefer. Now stop him and back him up. Stop him and back him up. Yes. Darian, I want you to start over again. Because we have a new Darian. In other words, did you see when I said to Darian, now? Because I'm waiting for that moment. I'm waiting for that moment when the horse says, that's the moment that you say no. If you say no before, it doesn't work. You have to say no at that moment when they charge. No. Good, relax your elbows there a little bit, and you're going to wait for that moment. Now, this is perfect. Relax, now. Relax, now. Good. Control, control. Sit back, good, control. Yeah, that's where she just threw in the towel a little bit. There you go. When are you going to say no? Now, say no. Say no. Yeah, you've got a lot of no's to say. You've got a lot of no's to say. All right, Sheila. Thank you for raking. Darian, you're going in the right direction. This first line is excellent. I thought this bounce was good, but you still needed to say no going to that oxer, and you need to say no going to this. Don't worry about where you end up. If I'm training a horse, good. Wow. If I'm training a horse, I have to be committed. I have to be committed to going down with the ship. I have to be committed with going down with the ship. Once I commit myself to go down with the ship, then once I commit myself, try it again, but with more compression. Once I commit myself to go down with the ship, then I no longer care about missing. That becomes their problem. That becomes their problem. Compress and wait like you're going to walk it, like you're going to walk it. Good. Yeah, Sheila, good. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. Why don't you walk a minute? Because the only thing you did wrong, everything was right. The idea was right. All of that was right. Just the execution was flawed because you landed and went to hand before leg. And when you go to hand before leg, that's the trap. You saw the trap, right? She went to hand before leg. And so this is the problem. You feel like, oh, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. I'll fix this with my hands. I'll fix it with my hands. And then about 2 strides in front of the jump, the horse says, I'm fixed. And then you don't have any leg. And then there's no way to jump the jump. That's why you have to make sure, and it's very difficult to do, that you're hardwired to put your leg on, before you use your hands. You've got to exhale, Sheila, when you land. Drop in, put your leg on, and then use your hand. It's about delayed gratification instead of immediate gratification. Start with the bounce. Delayed gratification is training. Immediate gratification, delayed gratification is a deposit. Immediate gratification is a withdrawal. Good, now a little bit longer horse, not faster, just longer, Let him stretch his neck, And now compress. Beautiful. Exhale. Right leg. This is excellent riding. That's excellent riding. Let's see what she does next. Good. Exhale. Wow. Super. Fantastic. Beautiful job, Sheila. You can come to my place and train my horses for me. That was excellent.
You're welcome to move to the East Coast.
Well, yeah, I've heard that. Yeah. Okay. Now, we're going to add this line. But before that line, what we're going to do now is you're going to do the same thing you just did, but after the black ox, you're going to add the little bendy bit, triple bounce. After the triple bounce, you're going to just continue on, go into this, then you're going to come and do this last line. Okay? Yeah, have you ever done one of those?
Not on him. I mean, I have, but not on him.
He's done straight bounces.
But not that. Sheila, I know you have. Okay, I'll tell you what we're gonna do, because let's just avoid the mess. Let's have everyone come on down here for a minute, because this can be a train wreck with horses that haven't done it before. So let's just come back here for a minute. I want everybody to line up on the other side. Sheila, since your horse is fresh, we'll just start with you, because you probably only have to do it maybe one time as a refresher. Now, the first time you guys are going to do this, you're going to go around the barber poles. You're going to go around the barber pole and come in a little bit straight, just so they get it figured out. Now, this is all a test for the rider, even more than the horse, because if you get up on the axle, Andrew, okay? Come again? Yeah, lengthen there so he knows you're not messing around. And now compress. Try it again. Take your time. Good. Come do it again. Just take your time, Sheila. Relax there. And pull them together. Try to stay with the blue stripe. This is probably making you feel much better, isn't it? Good, good, good. Beautiful job. I'm going to make it just a little bit easier for you. Sheila, come one more time. Yep. Go. No, you're good there. Keep going. Keep going there, keep going there, keep going there. And now compress. Good, good, good. Beautiful. One more time. Excellent. Yeah, turn here now. Turn in front. Good, good. One more time. If you can, stay with the stripes.
I feel like I'm seeing a distance and waiting.
Don't see a distance. You're not, the goal is not to see a distance. Just ride to the exercise. Think about rideability. Good, good. There you go. Good. She's just kind of overthinking it a little bit. There, you can turn inside. Just stay relaxed. Left leg. Yep. You overturn with your hand. Just ride in and ride out. Ride in, ride out. Good. All right. Very good. That's good. That's good. Okay. Next one. It's not about speed. Good, 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 good. That's perfect. Good. You just needed to make sure you kept your leg. Just need to make sure you kept your leg and didn't get out ahead of your horse. Keep your leg, leg, leg. Good. Leg, leg, leg. Yes, leg, leg, leg. Yes, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Good. One more time with it low. And then you have to make sure, Alicia, that it's here. Here. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Hips back, that was distance. Rideability. Rideability, not distance. Relax your elbows. Don't worry about the distance. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Now you're getting it. Now she's getting it. You want to get the horse close here anyways. You don't want to come in like that. No, one more time. That's okay. Come do it again and I'll elevate this. That was perfect the last time. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Good. All right, that's good. For you, that's fine. Next one. Timing of that leg, timing of that leg. Keep your leg, be patient. Be patient, be patient, patient. All right. Yeah, there might be too much, this might be a bridge too far for him. Andrew, do me a favor. Just go do the red little grid on the ground, just the rails on the ground, and then do the red, white, and blue bounce. Okay, I would say I made a mistake there, all right? Good, then the red, white, and blue. Yep. Okay, Andrew, I'll trade you positions. Next one. While Andrew and I are getting organized, Andrew, you can shorten those stirrups about 3 holes, bud. Excellent. Excellent. Ah, come on. We were worried about nothing. Good. Try to get that hip to the inside. Try to get his hips to... Good job. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. Yeah, come inside now. Watch out for Andrew. Maybe go around Andrew. You can go around the black oxer and in front of the red vertical, Michelle. Just go right around that green oxer, whatever color that is. Dark oxer. There you go. Keep that inside leg. And try to keep the bend all the way through. Beautiful ride. Excellent, Michelle. Okay, let's not make it too easy for you. Whoever was next. Darian's next. All right, while Darian's getting organized, I'll hop on your pony there, Andrew. Beautiful. He was great. He was very good at it. sir. I got hooked. Got hooked on something there. So I have attachments. That's all right. Try that again. Just try to get a little straighter to it. Somehow I got my stirrup through my cable. Thanks, bud. Perfect. Left rein. Almost. Try it again. You can do it. Just come a little bit straighter, Darian, the first time. He'll figure it out. That's right. Now hold the left rein all the way through. Left, left, left. Good girl. One more time, or maybe more than once. Good. Good. Just watch that body. Watch that body. I want you to keep those hips back and keep your head back a little bit. Just stay open. Stay open. Don't close so much. Keep your hands and elbows relaxed and stay open. That was better. That was much better. Do that one more time, and then Sheila. Good. Left rein. Beautiful job. All right, Sheila. Darian, well ridden. Now let's. Oh no, Sheila, you did this already. My mistake. I'm sorry. That leaves moi. Okay. Okay, so now this horse, we saw that when he was, we saw that when he was giving Andrew a hard time, that Andrew, what legs was he using? What legs were he using in order to go against you? The front legs. Okay. So the front legs is what he was using against you. So what I'm going to try to do is work his back legs. So in order to try to change the behavior, I have to analyze how the behavior starts. And with him, the behavior starts with his front legs. So I want to try to get it where I control his back legs. If I can get this horse where I'm working on his back legs and getting him thinking about his back legs, then there's a chance, Andrew, that as I come to the jump and I'm working on his back legs, that maybe he won't be thinking about his front legs. Sometimes you can get ahead of the behavior. If you look at a horse's behavior and you break it down into parts, instead of just looking at a stop, if you break it down into parts, then sometimes if you can change the order in which they do something, then you can change the behavior. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. Bridge too far. All right, let me try that in a straight line. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Whoop. Good boy. Nope. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. There. Hey. There. There. Whoop. Whoop. Okay, Chief. All right. Now, oof, Jesus. Now let's go ahead and have this group, now that you're good with this, I'm going to leave it like this the first time, nice and small. But I would like you to go ahead and add this into the machine. So you're going to start with the red, then you're going to make the right turn, the triple bounce, the little oxer, this triple bounce, oxer, into the triple bounce, right turn, last line. All right? Then you're welcome, because they've been chilling, do a little work before you go. So I don't know if you noticed, but going to the bounce and that the distance, I don't care. I don't care. I'm busy working on different things, and that's just in the way. It's just in the way. You don't have to look if you don't want to. You know, if you're focusing on your horse, you don't have to look at those jumps. No. No, 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 no. Hang on. Why don't I like it? Yeah, no engagement. No engagement. In other words, you feel fine. you feel fine, Alicia, but your horse isn't coming through from behind up into your hands. The horse is... Push, 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 push. Relax that elbow. There you go. There you go. Keep going. Relax. Shorten your reins. Full seat. Relax your hips and let him push you like a funny car. Like a funny car. There. Now bottle. Now bottle. And say, yep. Control. Left lead. Control. Right lead. See, I'm being harder on you guys now. I'm starting to call the lead. You understand what I mean by that? It means you have to ride that lead for control. bend. Keep the bend, wait, wait. Beautiful job. Relax. Good. Bend right, right leg. Yes! That's the exercise from yesterday. You remember the exercise from yesterday? Pushing over for the little grid in the end. It's the exact same exercise. Right lead. Left lead. There, I love the last one. Excellent, Alicia. Excellent. Next one. There. You gotta work.
And really, this is so helpful because with him, if I don't create that, that's why he runs away with me. Well, and that's exactly
And then, blue, right? Yeah, because you've got to have him taking you. You've got to have something. You got to know what's going. Otherwise, they're lying to you. They're lying to you. Get the engagement and length, Sheila, first. Nice, relaxed, long horse, long neck. So the horse is pulling you, Andrew. I want my horse pulling me before the first jump. I don't want to turn the corner the first jump and it's very concerning to me. Now control, work on your hips. Right lead. Left. Good. Why am I saying that lead?
that's the lead they're on.
That's the lead you're riding on. That's the lead you're riding on. Now that happened all the way through the turn, didn't it, Andrew? Did you see how that happened to her all the way through the turn? Because he wasn't taking her through the turn. He wasn't a believer. He hadn't drank the Kool-Aid. Better, better, better. Control. Yes, this I liked. Right bend. Don't give up. Just make a circle and try that again. Just the bounce, just the bounce. Good, good. There, you got it. Keep going. That was way better. Way better. The other thing is anytime they act dubiously, anytime they act concerned, it's about compression. Good. That I liked. That's the idea. Your intent was correct, Sheila. Nice job. Next one. So Sheila, first line was excellent, but as you came through the turn and you felt him list, and you never got him engaged on track, and then as the combination came up, rather than compressing at the last minute, you said jump. Okay, that last minute jump, it freaks him out every time, all right? You've got to make sure that all the work is done before the last 4 or 5 strides. You have to think a little bit like a pilot, right? There's certain steps that you have to go through. When you're at 40,000 feet, you don't just fly at 40,000 feet and then see the airport and dive, you know. You've got to slow down, put the flaps out, put the running gear out, get down to about 160 miles an hour, and then you have a chance to land. Good. Right lead. Good. Right lead. Right lead. This is going to be good for him. Yes, this will slow him down. Good. Perfect. Excellent, Michelle. Right lead. Okay, do you mind if I ride him? I didn't ride him yesterday, did I? Did I ride that horse yesterday? No. No? Okay, then next one, go ahead. Huh? Next one, go ahead. I don't want to ride him twice. Means I didn't do a good enough job the first time.
He gets an opinion.
Well, he's allowed to have an opinion. You just have to make sure his opinion is our opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
I need help.
Yeah. 3, 1.
Okay. Good, thank you. Hi, bud. Okay, very good, Darian. Say no. Good job. Say no. That's right. Get your head back. Beautiful. Hey, I'm proud of you. Good, get your head back. Get your head back. Get your head back. You did a great job there. Just go ahead and make a circle. That's a lot to ask. Go ahead and make a circle. Try it again. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. Get back on track. Good. Yeah, beautiful job, young lady. Very good. Work, work. Oh, good job. Well done. Andrew. Well written. Oh, that I didn't love. But everything else I was happy. This I still don't love. But everything else I was tickled pink, okay? Sure, maybe this didn't work out the way you wanted it, but you were being demanding and you said no. I like that. Andrew, you need to make sure that when he goes to lock that you say no. Have him taking you. Have him taking you. That's not taking you, my friend. Come on, make a circle here. Make a circle, and you've got to have him pushing. You've got to have him pushing you. There, that's better. And keep working his haunches. Keep working his haunches. Yes, don't get distracted by the jump, Andrew. Compress. Compress. Get him back. Whoop, 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 whoop. Oh, wow, that's a save. Let's go ahead and put that back up. Now, Andrew, I want you to come and do that again, but instead of thinking about distance, just think about control, sitting back. As you're coming to that, you're trying to think about the distance, and that scares him a little bit. Instead, just think about control and keeping your spur caressed into him, and wait. Try again. I'm going to walk you through it. Talk you through it. Good. Forward there. Now slow it down and just think about his body. Compress. Like you want to trot it. 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 You're a genius. Excellent. The same thing here. Yes. Same thing. Good. And now pull them together at the base. Good. The same thing. Like you're going to trot. Trot. Andrew, that's excellent. Finish up. Oh. Compress. Good. Compress. Andrew, that's better. Oh. You see, by thinking about distance, Andrew, when you think about the distance, instead of thinking about the horse and the rideability, you sell yourself a little short. Instead, if you abandon the distance, and just think about your horse, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Distance is a trap. The distance is a trap to make us, take our mind off of what counts. Is it my turn? I think it's my turn, right? Yeah, okay. Whoa. Okay, so, wow, I missed every distance. Why am I training with this guy? He missed every distance. I can ride better than that. It's not about distance. It's listening. And so the way I ride is going to have to do with how well he's listening, not if I can find the jump. So as I went to the last jump, he was good. I rode kind. I rode kind. So now, because I like the last jump, I'm going to give him an opportunity to be good. I don't know quite yet because it's the first time I've ridden him. I don't know if he's ready to listen or not. I think he is because of the way he approached the last jump. But that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for him, instead of thinking on his own, to be ready for whatever I ask. Nice horse. It's a nice horse. Great instincts. Now, I'm not riding his body, I'm riding his mind. I'm riding his mind. And as he got upset and angry, he was actually mad at himself. Yeah. He wasn't mad at me, he was mad at himself because he made a mistake. Yeah. When he made that mistake, he got angry. Yeah. And so then he lost all of his focus because he's like, I hit that jump. I love it. But then he wanted to take it out on me. So when he chose to take it out on me, I went limp. I went limp. You're on your own, bud. I can either be your friend or your worst enemy. You pick. When he accepts me as a friend, I'm his best friend. When he doesn't, then I become a liability. So then he has to make a decision. If I don't allow that, then I'm not really training. I'm gonna give him an opportunity to be a sweetie. Good. 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 Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Yep, 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 good boy. Hey, that's right. Squeeze. Good boy. That's okay. Good. Whoa. Yes. Whoa. Okay, I think he's ready for you. Not perfect, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Need it. Oh. Yeah, but that's a good thing. It's a good thing because he wants to be perfect. He wants to be perfect. All right. So when you're training your horses, you have to make sure, and we talked about this with you, Darian, you have to make sure that you think of their brain, not just their body. How they're thinking, when to say yes, when to say no. That's why we're doing these little gymnastic exercises. Go ahead, Michelle, you go right into it. When you're training these young horses, any horse, you have to try to read their mind. And you're all horsemen enough for that. You'll have enough experience for that. But you want to try to read their mind a little bit and think about what's concerning them. And with him, for example, Andrew, he doesn't want to go in fast. Yeah. Okay? So with him, it's all about getting the wind in your sails and then pulling it together. Good. Control. Yep. Good. Left leg, left leg. Right bend. Good. Get him back. There. Super. Super. Well done. Well done, Michelle. Good job. Good job. Well ridden. Okay, everybody. Was there anyone that I said had to go again? I think everybody was pretty good. Right? Okay, come on down here to the center. We covered a lot of ground today. We covered a lot of ground. We analyzed problems that we had yesterday. We fixed some of them. And in the process of fixing some, because we also turned up the volume, we turned up the volume of the challenge that we were asking these horses, we also unearthed bigger problems. Which makes sense, doesn't it? Yesterday we were doing rails on the ground and we found some simple core problems. Today we started doing more complicated jumping exercises and we started to find serious problems. So by that rationale, come tomorrow, if I do my job right, we're going to have bigger problems. Because you have to remember, that's what your course designers are trying to do to you. They're trying to see if you've gone through all of these steps at home. And most people don't want their riding to be miserable. Most of them want to ride horses because they want to have a good time. I'm not one of those. I have a goal in mind. If I achieve my goal, I had a good time. That's when I have a good time. Now don't get me wrong, there's nothing I like more than sitting on an unbelievable jumper that's freaky talented. I mean, that's heaven. That's heaven on earth. But I don't care how good they are. These are my days. Not every day, but these are my days. When I'm schooling, I'm schooling. If I want to have fun, look, there's a tree up there. There's grass over there. There's a golf course. I'm sure they love it if you ride across the golf course. Then you can have fun. But if you're going to school, you have to push yourself. You have to push yourself. That horse has got to be electric from your leg and manageable with your hands. It cannot be a lollygagger. It cannot be a lollygagger. It cannot just be light in the croup and bounce around, bounce around the ring like a fresh llama. Have you ever seen that video of the fresh llama? I love it. I love it. Anyways, it's one of my favorite YouTubes, the fresh llama. So you need to make sure, you've got to make sure that you do your homework. You've got to do your homework. And this, the beauty of this is look how big we're jumping. Look at all of the problems that we were able to find. And this triple bounce, okay, how is that unfair? How can that be unfair if I'm getting ready to go jump a course? If I can't do that, it's a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call. And it was a great wake-up call for you and that horse, Andrew, for all of us. But for you and that horse, that triple bounce was a great wake-up call because he wants to park out behind a little bit. And if you can get that horse, the solution to his issue is on the flat. Start riding his hips like that's where the steering wheel is. If you start riding your horse's hips like that's where the steering wheel is, then it changes the way they think. It changes the way their mind works. Because this is the stopping part, right? When they go to slow down in general, if they're in the wild, they stop. And this is how they stop at a jump. So you have to change the behavior a little bit. Make them start thinking about using their hind end to do the stopping, the starting. This has got to really, their back legs has really got to be the ones that do the work. If you have a horse that ever wants to stop, anytime I have a horse that ever wants to stop, I ride their hind end. I don't worry about the front end. I just work really hard on the hind end. And then as I come to the jump, I'm always just, hey, what do you, because they're trying to think about this. So the whole time I'm going to the jump, I'm getting them thinking about their hind end. And it just distracts them. It distracts them long enough that some of the times I end up over the jump. Not all the times, but some of the times I end up over the jump. More importantly, for me, I've done this so many times over the horse's head that I just feel like I can't do that anymore. Because the last time I did it, it was very bad. So I'm trying not to do that. So I had a bit of a wake-up call. So all right, I better change. I better change. Once I realized I had to change, it's easy. Once you realize you have to change, you just change. You change the way you ride. With this horse, you've got to make sure you think about his hind end when you're doing that flat work. And when he starts to get cranky, you are the immovable object. You are the immovable object. He might think he's an unstoppable force, but once he meets the immovable object, he'll stop. He'll stop. Okay. Any questions from the jockeys from today, from this group? Because we covered quite a bit. We covered a lot of ground. Any questions from anyone?
I have one.
Yes.
When you're riding Michelle's horse,
Yep.
and riding him like you were a marionette,
Yeah.
everything was in rhythm. You were doing everything in rhythm. How much of a goal is that for you when you go to do a job like that?
Everything with riding is rhythm. Not everything, but the rhythm is paramount. The rhythm is paramount with your horses when you're riding. Rhythm is key. And you always have to have rhythm sets the gears and rhythm sets the tone. So if I have a horse, I have to make sure that I'm setting the tone, I'm setting the pace, I'm setting the energy. And so if I choose a rhythm, bump, ba-bump, ba-bump, that's this rhythm that I had on your horse was take your time, we are going to go through this slowly, and I am going to explain it to you. Bump, ba-bump, ba-bump, collected canter, working canter. Now, if I say, okay, let's go. We're going to do the jump off. Maybe with that horse, right? When I start with that horse, boom, bump, ba-bump, 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 ba-bump. Okay? So the rhythm, yeah, the rhythm is important. The rhythm is far more important than most things. But for me as well, it's relaxation. It's the relaxation. The minute I get tense with my hips, my shoulders, then I become detrimental. Because I'm not ready to absorb my horse's energy. And the horse feels that. And then they root and they have me. Whereas if I'm relaxed, they root. Okay, you get my hands, but you don't get my body. You get my hands, but you don't get my body. So on the way back, I'm twice as strong. As they're coming off the ground, I'm twice as strong. So when you're riding, make sure when you're getting these horses going forward and backward that it's a change in rhythm. As you're accelerating, decelerating, you just have to change the cadence in your head, the pace in your head. Most of the time, if you do that, you don't have to pull. The horses would rather do it that way. They'd much rather just have you relax and change your rhythm rather than keep that same rhythm and pull. Because now you're conflicting your aids, aren't you? If I assume that my rhythm is an aid and I don't change my rhythm when I want the horse to slow down, I just pull. I can't wonder why they don't slow down. I can assume they're going to just do this and keep that same pace because that's what I just did. Isn't that what I just did? Right? I didn't slow down. I just pulled on their face. So the rhythm you have to make sure the rhythm goes with what you're trying to accomplish. And when that horse was being feisty, I was just like, oh, whatever. I'm going to go limp. You spin. You got to see them. They're a little bit like the Tasmanian Devil. Remember the Tasmanian Devil? The cartoon, that was probably before your time. Kind of, you know what a Tasmanian Devil is, right? They spin, they knock down trees, everything, right? And then all of a sudden, he'd stop. Okay? When the horses turn into Tasmanian devils, just step back. Just step back. You know, well, okay, when you're done, sooner or later, you're going to come and then carry on. When he turns into the Tasmanian devil, you know, just keep doing your job. And then when he's done, he'll meet you halfway. Any questions? Okay. All right. Well done, everybody. Let's have a sandwich. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Good job.